What you see here is a lake, which is located in my neighborhood in eastern Poland. I've sailed to the center of it because I needed space to show you the basics of neuroconsciousness training, which is hugely founded on breathing. And what you are going to see is a basic neuroconscious breathing training, which constitutes a framework for every other aspects of neuroconscious body awakening. To count your breaths, you need to use your fingers, counting in the sequence: middle finger, extreme like thumb, extreme like little, middle like index, and intermediate like ring finger. That sequence is quite practical because you are using quite, well, untypical for humans, still very ergonomic for animal skeletal awakening. The breath of earth is the first one. You are using nose to breathe in and breathe out, and your concentration is your sit bones and the bottom of your pelvis. Each breath is counted on each finger, and the sequence comes 3 times, so you make 30 breaths at least. You want more, of course you can do more. Counting the fingers the way I told you is revolutionary in awakening your motor system, making your body, well, to do its own anamnesis in natural ergonomic animal movements, the results of which are going to be seen several days, weeks and months after the first exercise. Having done the first sequence of breaths, you count to 10 on each finger in the same sequence. Having your breath held on full exhale, of course ergonomically, not fully. You don't need to exhale completely, but it's more or less empty in lungs. So you obtain 50 times, something like seconds, on your breath hold with your lungs empty. This is the making the pace and time of breath hold adapted to your capabilities, because first it's going to be very hard to withhold with all those slow movements, so this is up to you how fast you do that. Then you breathe in, and holding your breath with lungs full, you count to 10 on one hand, on the second hand, and with your both hands, obtaining 15 on your breath hold with your lungs full. The following breath is a breath of water. You breathe in with your nose and you exhale with your mouth. You are concentrating on pubic bone and upper part of your pelvis, and try to sense a phantomic lungs over there. I'm not joking, it's quite practical and useful to imagine that you have lungs in the area when the breath is being focused, when the breath is being sensed. The pace, the tempo, the frequency of the breath, and it's really up to you. But you will obtain different results, and it also depends on how much time you have. When you do the breathing, you can also start coding your sensations, creating your habit for the next breathing session, which may be programmed for the evening, for the morning, for the time that you desire to be subconsciously activated to do the exercise. It's enough to feel all the sensations in the breathing zone. Imagine yourself in a near future feeling exactly the same. And now again, breath hold and counting. It concerns the majority of neuroconscious training. You can program your regularity and habits, training habits and self, internal feelings, which will motivate you and make you subconsciously find reasons to train instead of excuses to avoid it. And the breath of fire. You breathe in with your mouth and you breathe out with your nose. And your phantomic lungs are in lower part of your ribs with your upper belly. Avoid feeling that breath in your chest. It might bring unpleasant sensations in your cardiac zone. The breath of fire is quite connected with feelings of desire which may happen to you, so be aware of every emotions and feelings and sensations flowing through your body and awakening during the process of the training, without judging or stopping, repulsing or overstimulating, holding those states, those processes. The more subtle the element gets, like towards the more subtle elements like air and ether, you might get more subtle and more mobile sensations and thoughts and emotions as well. And again, counting on your breath hold. Some schools recommend using real time, like 1 minute, 2 minutes. In neuroconscious training, you need to be tolerant and listening to your body. So I really recommend using your own time pace and your own relative counting method, counting pace. The more adapted your system will be, the slower this period may be, but in the beginning, when you're hugely agitated and distracted, perhaps faster pace will be more practical for you. And now the breath of air. You breathe in and out with your mouth equally, and you concentrate with your phantomic lungs in the region, in the part of your body between your shoulder blades and back ribs, something like you breathe in and breathe out with your back more than with your front. It reverses habitual way of breathing in the human organism, which shifts your weight center and makes you learn how to use your body more ergonomically during long-term efforts to use your body more like with animal easiness. And again, counting to 10 on each finger on your breath hold. Again, notice emotions and states you might get during the process of breathing in that stage. You can do that lying down, sitting, standing up. The main thing is when you use your fingers during the breathing process, the whole body activates, the whole skeleton, the whole nervous system takes part in that. What's more, when you breathe, count on your fingers, also your toes start to awaken, start to be more consciously present, used. And you can experience that in the way you use your feet after the training like that. After you stand up, sit down, roll over, move, use your body. Now the breath of ether. You breathe in and out with your nose, but much more subtly and quietly. And your phantomic lungs are in your brain hemispheres. Your brain fills with air, and when you breathe in and when you breathe out, it empties. That is the main closing and opening breath, which can be done, which can be practiced by you when there's no time for anything else, because it works for the whole system anyway and stimulates information integration and exchange in your brain, inter-hemispherical communication, and what's more, it is hugely helpful for any trauma integration. And again, breath hold and counting. Breath hold is necessary to create a sensation of peace and holding the movement of your thoughts and emotions, which is naturally spontaneous during the breath hold, and it is quite much more easy for you to notice all the processes without analysis, straightly like they appear. You cannot overestimate this practice. If you don't have time to do anything else, do this.